The storm brewing over Port Charles this week has less to do with weather and more to do with deception, suspicion, and a woman whose world is about to collapse. For Willow, the serenity she fought so hard to preserve will shatter when Anna, relentless and haunted by her own sense of justice, begins to see her not as a victim but as the prime suspect in one of the town's most shocking crimes, the shooting of Drew. What began as an investigation has turned into a witch hunt, and the deeper Anna digs, the more tangled the web becomes, leaving even those closest to Willow wondering where the truth really lies. It starts with the discovery of a weapon, an old revolver once belonging to Edward Conman. The gun, tucked away inside a dresser drawer at Liz's house where Willow has been staying, becomes the single thread that unravels everything. Anna, whose years as a spy and law enforcer have taught her to trust evidence more than emotion, sees it as irrefutable proof. But the truth in Port Charles is rarely what it seems. The fingerprints, the placement, even the timing, everything appears too perfect, too orchestrated. And yet, Anna's instincts, sharpened by betrayal and loss, tell her that this might be the break she's been waiting for. For Willow, the nightmare begins the moment she learns that she's under investigation. Shock quickly gives way to fear, and fear to disbelief. How could Anna, the woman she once admired, believe she's capable of shooting Drew? But what cuts even deeper is the creeping suspicion that someone close to her might have set her up. All signs point to Michael, the man she once trusted completely. His unexpected visits to see her children, his decision to stay at Liz's home unattended, and his evasive explanations have built a quiet storm of paranoia in Willow's mind. It's not only the fear of being framed, it's the dawning realization that Michael might have known something, or done something, long before she did. Meanwhile, Drew, still recovering and consumed by a toxic mix of rage and guilt, faces his own moral reckoning. If Willow didn't shoot him, then who did? Every memory of that day is fragmented, the sound of a door slamming, the faint echo of footsteps, the flash of pain before everything went dark. In the fog of his trauma, he starts piecing together possibilities. He knows Michael's temper, his protectiveness, his need to control outcomes. But more than that, Drew knows his own silence might destroy an innocent woman. Yet coming forward would mean reopening wounds he's barely begun to heal. His anger at Michael, and himself, festers, while Anna's investigation closes in like a noose around Willow's neck. Anna's pursuit is methodical and merciless. Haunted by her failures and desperate to restore her credibility after recent missteps, she throws herself into the case with obsessive precision. She interviews Liz, searches for inconsistencies, and combs through surveillance footage with the intensity of a woman chasing absolution. But beneath her professional resolve lies something darker, the fear that she might be wrong again. The discovery of Edward's gun should have satisfied her, yet something about it gnaws at her conscience. The Conman family's involvement adds another layer of political pressure, and Anna finds herself trapped between her duty to the law and her instinct to protect the very people the law might destroy. In the background, Port Charles watches. The Conmans whisper behind closed doors, torn between loyalty and self-preservation. Carly senses that the tides are shifting but cannot yet see where they'll break. Liz wrestles with guilt, wondering whether she should have noticed something: the strange way Michael avoided her eyes, the subtle tension in Willow's hands, the cold silence that followed Drew's attack. Every corner of the town hums with speculation, and yet, the truth remains elusive. As evidence piles up, Anna prepares to make her move. She gathers the team, ready to execute a quiet arrest before the news leaks. But fate, as always, intervenes. Drew, driven by desperation, leaves his hospital bed to confront the storm himself. His arrival at the police station throws everything into chaos. He insists Willow is innocent, that something about the case doesn't add up. But his words carry no proof, only passion. Anna listens, but her eyes remain skeptical, and for a moment, even she wonders whether Drew's defiance is guilt masquerading as heroism. Michael, meanwhile, becomes the ghost haunting every conversation. His presence is felt but unseen, his motives unclear. Some say he's protecting someone else, maybe Willow, maybe himself. Others whisper that he's manipulating events from the shadows, ensuring that if anyone takes the fall, it won't be him. The lines between love, loyalty, and survival blur until they are indistinguishable. Willow's trust in him begins to crumble, replaced by a suffocating dread that she's been nothing more than a pawn in someone else's game. When Anna finally issues the warrant, the scene unfolds with tragic inevitability. Willow's arrest sends shockwaves through the community. She stands silent as the cuffs close around her wrists, her mind unraveling between disbelief and betrayal. Drew watches helplessly, his body trembling from both pain and rage. He knows that by staying silent too long, he has allowed the lie to grow. He tries to speak, but the words come too late. Anna, torn between justice and mercy, can't shake the feeling that she has crossed a line she may never uncross. But in the quiet aftermath, as the storm recedes, strange details begin to surface. The gun's firing residue doesn't match the bullet taken from Drew. Surveillance footage from the night of the shooting shows a shadow leaving Liz's house at a time Willow couldn't have been there. A witness steps forward, a neighbor, perhaps, who recalls hearing two voices arguing outside before the shot rang out. And just like that, the entire narrative fractures. Anna, now realizing she may have built her case on quicksand, begins to question everything, including her own judgment. By week's end, Port Charles is left teetering on the edge of revelation and ruin. Willow sits in a cell, her mind consumed by the image of Michael standing in the doorway that night, calm, detached, and eerily unreadable. Drew, defying doctors' orders, begins his own investigation, determined to expose whoever orchestrated this nightmare. And Anna, shaken but unbroken, must confront the chilling truth that she may not be the hunter after all. She may be the hunted, led by a trail of deception crafted by someone who knows her weaknesses better than she does. As the curtain falls on another week of chaos, the question haunting everyone is no longer who shot Drew, but why? Because in Port Charles, motives are never simple, and love is often the cruelest weapon of all.